Manchester is an important city in the UK that is now part of the UK government's Northern Powerhouse initiative to boost economic growth. Today, we have as our guest Kathryn Bistacchi, co-founder of Definition Consulting, a Manchester-based marketing and business development firm. Hi, Kat.
Hi,
Welcome
Mark.
to the Hi. Okay, just for the sake of our listeners, I just wanted to introduce you to Kathryn from Definitions. And I recall meeting her physically. That's in Manchester. It was at the Etihad?
Yeah, the
Stadium?
Etihad, and it was the Great British Northwest Expo.
Brilliant. And then when the world ended, meeting virtually. For the sake of our listeners, I wanted to bring Kathryn here because she's been of a great help to my firm since we met, and I actually engaged her to do a lot of our marketing strategy and business development. So tell us a little bit about Definitions and the consultancy that you have.
Yeah, so Definition, we're a marketing and business development consultancy, and we always like to say the word consultancy in our name and to have Definition as Definition Consulting, because very often we get pulled into being classed as a marketing agency, which is absolutely fine, and we cover the full range of services you'd expect a marketing agency to cover. But the reason and our point of difference as to why we use the word consulting is because that's exactly what we do. We work with our clients as a consultative approach to understand, okay, well, where are they now? Where do they want to get to? And what does that need to look like? But more importantly, how is marketing and business development going to enable them to do that? And how can it be aligned to what their business objectives are? And therefore using the right tools at the right time for the right applications and for the right things that they want to be doing, and to make sure we then get results for them. So our strapline is explore, create, deliver.
The relationship with me was, I think, quite important because as we worked together, right, your team sort of understood more and more about our business goals, about the nature of our business. You know, there was a lot of interaction, and I think there was a lot of time spent. I was curious because you said you grilled me a lot. It was quite terrible because you asked a lot of questions, which a lot of other marketers actually don't ask. Over here in Singapore, prior to meeting you, one of our concerns was, people saying marketing is just a matter of pretty logo, having a pretty name, or just having a tagline, that sort of things. But I was quite surprised that it went beyond that. You had to get under the skin of the business, right? Maybe you want to share a little bit if you have some idea.
For us to kind of really make that difference and to really, like you say, get under the surface, because it's very easy, I think, when people are when we meet with clients and they're trying to tell us kind of who they are and where they are, they want to kind of dress it up a little bit, as quite rightly, as we all naturally would want to do. That's kind of human instinct. But when you actually start working with a business and really getting under the skin of it, it's never always perfect. Otherwise, why would they be kind of talking to somebody like us in the first place? So it's always to kind of understand, okay, well, what have been what's prevented them from achieving what they wanted to do already, or what stopped them from making it work before, or kind of really understanding, okay, well, what are they wanting to get out of it? But more importantly, what we kind of do the cool grilling for, as you like, it's much less painful than it sounds, is to kind of really get to the crux of it, which is the why. To understand, okay, what's their why? Why do they exist? And to be quite frank, as Simon says as well, why should anyone care? And hence why, I know you like it, Mark, we do also the so what test.
You mentioned why, right? I've got to ask you this. I really got to ask you this. I mean, you're one half of another partner. You have another partner, that's Kirsty. So I want to know, when did you and Kirsty started this business?
We are like two sides of the same coin. So my background is very much, hence why it is quite unique, and I do think it's one of our kind of key USPs, is that we're a marketing and business development consultancy, because most marketing agencies or consultancies that you come across are just pure marketing, whereas my background is business development. So I've always been in sales all my career. So I initially started up my first business back in 2011. And when you work for a small business and you kind of can't just wear one hat. So I couldn't just wear the sales hat. So I got roped into kind of doing some of the marketing as well, because basically I could speak to people. So that meant that I could then do the marketing and manage their social media and everything else, which was fine. The core of what I do, which is the business development, the strategy, the planning, who are you going to target, why are you going to target them, what you're going to say to them, all important follow-up. Then I met Kirsty a few years later. She was running a marketing agency, your typical kind of marketing agency, had been for 13 years prior, had a team of graphic designers and account managers. And when we met, she kind of realised actually where marketing stops and business development should begin, they had a bit of a black hole and their clients had a bit of a black hole there. And that's when we realised actually the two of us working together, we had a unique offer that we could provide to people. So we set up Definition in its current form. We do look at things from both angles. Kirsty's very much the creative. She will come up with amazing strap lines and wording off the top of her head. I'm the least creative person you could possibly meet, but I'm very much a case of I'm very organised, very strategic, and very kind of structured into what needs to be done and in what order and how we're doing it.
And that brings a very interesting conversation, because we had this conversation before. I remember some time back about collaboration.
Yes.
And from what you're telling me now, yours seems to be a collaboration of different skill sets.
Yeah.
And although we call it a partnership, but the way you came about was basically leveraging on each other's strengths in order to come up with this business. Yeah. And I suppose when we're looking at collaboration, there's a lot of benefits for small businesses who are strapped on resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
You hire the people, for instance, and the expertise. You were saying that you were working in a very in-house in a big company as opposed to a small company. Would you agree that, resource is one of the big concerns?
Absolutely, I do think that's the case. Within a big corp, you've got departments, not even just individuals of kind of that head up different things. You've then got whole departments that then specialise in certain things. So, say for example, if you had a marketing department, within that marketing department, you'd get a graphics person, a social media person, a PR person, and a whatever person, and they're very much kind of are pigeonholed into those roles. Which then also means that I actually think there's a lot of downsides to that, because I think it's very difficult for them to develop and grow their skill set, but also as well I also think that and get bored, so therefore the retention can be quite high. But also I find that you're quite limiting yourself then as well as to what else is out there, what other ability, what are the new trends, what are things that kind of other people have happened, how did it work for anyone else? They become a bit insular, I find, whereas I do think that SMEs have that great opportunity to be able to tap into the right kind of people and the right skills and have that collaborative way of approach to working.
I want to focus now about collaboration and it morphs into outsourcing as well, right? Right, that sort of like saves cost and so forth. But some of the listeners will ask, all that's fine and well, but with the pandemic, I like look at myself now. I can't possibly be flying to Manchester. I wish I was there, but I can't be there. Has it been a problem working remotely? We've worked together for almost a year, right? I think virtually. From my side, I was quite happy.
You'll never be able to beat kind of the power of being face to face, especially for relationship building. If you think about it, when you meet with someone face to face, you do get so much more of that small talk that is very difficult to you can have a little bit of it virtually, but it's not quite the same. So therefore, to really kind of build on the foundations of a relationship can be it can take, I think, a little bit longer to do virtually than if you did it face to face. So I do think the power of face to face is definitely will come back. But I think the unique thing that we've had is because the whole world has had to go through this, that everyone's had to adapt. And that's, for me, is the main kind of key here, and the main word is adaptability. It's all about communication, isn't it? Yes. So for us working together, it's still been being able to make sure we communicate. And we've been using, goodness me, like lots of different tools, whether it's WhatsApp or email or virtually through Zoom like this, or things like a Trello board, so we can share and collaborate together. So that's where technology, I suppose, has come absolutely to the fore more than ever in enabling people to work together successfully.
Right. Do you think that with the pandemic, there is an accelerated push for people, moving towards accepting these technological tools?
Because at the beginning, I did see there was a few where you could see there were knee-jerk reaction was to batten down the hatches and kind of curl into a ball and wait for it to go away.
That's right. Right.
I think they then quickly had to realise, because originally it was like, it's only for 3 weeks. But then you also had the other side, which was amazing. We had clients even ringing us saying, because we were like, oh goodness, okay, how is this going to affect us? We obviously got all of our team all set up to work remotely. We were already using the cloud for a certain degree and already using tools like Teams. So we were able to adapt very quickly to that. But we were concerned with clients and what they'd be doing. But the amount of them that rang us up and said, actually, we really value what you do for us. Can you help us to make sure we communicate properly to our suppliers, help us to adapt? So we created, one client, we created a whole new product range in 10 days, which is has never happened before. But then there's also been a number of clients as well that I felt that were really kind of raring to, right, well, I'm not just going to go down without a fight. I'm kind of going to go through, through this. So actually, they're the ones
tough it out.
And they're very much the ones, I think, that have grown, and they really have grown and have expanded during this, and because they very quickly adapted their offering.
Well, the way I see it is, right, every cloud has a silver lining. There are opportunities although it's an extraordinary adversity that we are going through, but surprisingly, I felt that there were opportunities along the way. The amazing thing for me was that it opened me up to a new community in Manchester.
Yeah.
You would never imagine from your side. I think you were surprised that you have clients now in Singapore as well. In
Singapore, and that's it. And I think, if anything, that's what it's opened the doors of with regards to the use of technology like this. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be next door, or as you are in Singapore, and I'm here in Manchester. We've got clients now in America, and that was just kind of before you were so more kind of I suppose insular and kind of just looking at what was kind of just on your doorstep.
Kathryn, and I thank you so much. My listeners would really, really thank you.